Hi there Summoners, GuardianE here with another Fire Emblem Heroes video, and today we're going to be reacting live to the next reveal for the next set of special heroes, special characters, seasonal characters to drop into the game in just a couple of days. So I have the silhouette pulled up here, the little social media Twitter teaser that they put up, the silhouettes, and looks a lot like Tethys to me on the right there, which would imply Sacred Stones. And we're going to go Sacred Stones. I mean, on the left, it could be... that could be anybody. I'm going to go with Ephraim, just because you can never count out Ephraim. I mean, I feel like we did just recently get a Sacred Stones banner, but anyway, those are my guesses. And it does seem like this is going to be desert-themed banner once again, which I'm kind of surprised about. I'm kind of surprised they're sticking with that theme, that they're actually going to continue, because this is kind of one of those flex seasonal slots that they could have brought in a number of different themes. But I think this is at least year 3, right? That they've had sort of a sand theme to the seasonal. So seems like they're going to continue that with this batch as well. So got the trailer pulled up. Let's go ahead and take a look at it together for the first time. All right, here we go. Let's see who we've got on deck. Who we've got thirsty, looking cool in the desert. Okay, all right. Special heroes to battle. And it is going to be Desert Merc. Oh, is that Ike?
Mercenaries go.
Oh yeah, I guess it is Ike. Okay, that's fine. I suppose that's all right. I probably should have guessed based on the art there. I guess I had Sacred Stones and Ephraim on the brain there. Ether's Path for the special. Lagoo's Loyalty. Oh my god, really? We don't need another Lagoo's B slot. Get it out of here. It's like part of why the game's so broken right now. It's like, we did not need a side grade or evolution to the Lagoo's B slot. It did not need to exist. It doesn't. I don't even need to read what it is. It doesn't need to exist. Alright, so what do we got next lined up? Oh! Blooming Blade! Gorgeous! Absolutely Malice looks spectacular. Infantry Sword Unit? Okay. Let's see. Swirling Scimitar? She's got Gust. Alright. Attack Speed Prime 4. And Spiked Wall. Alright. So not too many surprises here, at least as far as... So before foes attack, she does have, looks like, pre-charge for her special.
Have some tea.
Okay. And that's a ridiculous amount of damage reduction and the retaliation. Okay. Alright. And is this... Yeah, that sure is Tethys. Dancing Sands. That's a pretty art as well. Is she going to be a 4-star? So she's a flying colorless dagger. Okay. And she is most assuredly going to be the 4-star focus unit of the banner. All right. Dance so allies can chain attacks. Gotcha. So Tethys is kind of like still stuck in low rarity land, I suppose. at least in part. Oh, Willful Blades.
I hope you like Jehanna.
Marisa and Byleth?
Very much.
Interesting.
Huh?
The art style is actually really nice too. I don't think we've seen that particular... I should take a look at who the artist is. I don't think we've seen this particular art style in the game before. I could be forgetting somebody. Assault Force for the B slot. Buff allies in a wide area. Move extra, ignore terrain multiple times. Okay. Alright.
Perfect safety.
Nice. Cavalry Axe Unit. Huh. It's also kind of an unusual movement type as well for those two characters, I guess. I don't see too many cavalry versions of either of them. Harmonized Skill. Grant Muniku move 1 extra space. Okay, why not? We'll take a closer look, at least like briefly through the skills and stuff, just to kind of give it a once-over and see everything that's lined up for this banner. Alright. Marisa. I'm actually pretty excited that Marisa's getting an alt, because this is her first alt in the game. The art looks great for her too, so I think they did her justice. And getting paired with Byleth is an unusual, strange bedfellows, but I like it all the same. I think they look nice together. Duststorm Mercs, Paralog Story. Marisa and Byleth Getting, yeah, Ike in there. Okay, and who is on... Oh, is that a Saber? I think I saw that was Saber. That could be available as a Lance unit over there on the right. Yeah, I think so. So, getting a free Saber, that's pretty nice. Okay, I think that's our first ult for him, right? I'm pretty sure. That's kind of nice. So we're kind of all over the place, at least as far as like character representation, title representation in the game, right, or in the banners as a whole. So starting on the 16th and going for an entire month, Tethys once again going to be the 4-star focus unit of the banner. So again, she's kind of reserved to be the low rarity unit. But I am glad that she's getting an ult. I'm glad that Marisa's getting an ult. Malice looks great too as her first ult. Ike has obviously had plenty of ults before, but I guess it has been a while since we've gotten an Ike ult. I suppose the last ult was Emblem Ike, in fact, so... but I will say we've got some nice title diversity on the banner, lots of character representation, lots of new ults for characters that haven't had them before, and a lot of gorgeous designs, too. So overall, you know, I would say pretty solid of a showing, at least... for the banner as a whole, and we've got even color distribution across. The 4-star focus is going to be colorless, and the duo unit is going to be green. So if we take a quick look at the characters themselves, starting up here in the back, we've got Ike, of course, going to be a Lance unit, infantry, rocking that garb, the desert garb, of course, with the abs, showing them off. Very, very nice. Tousled hair, signature with the bandana too. I think part of why I didn't really guess Ike was that the bandana was like, it's a little muted compared to his profile, which, you know, usually it's very, very obvious, and so maybe that's why it didn't immediately jump out to me as Ike. But yeah, the hair probably should have given it away. He looks great. I mean, honestly, the artist did a great job on representing him. I like him showing off the abs there, the muscles, the forearms, and the cloaked look in general to protect him from the dust storms looks really great as well. This is obviously kind of a younger take on Ike, the younger version of him, and looks good. Looks good overall. Good representation of him here. So we got Swirling Lance, Killer Slaying Effect, let's see, player or enemy phase, 2 space of an ally, grants it speed defense +6, so it looks like he's going to be a speedy Ike. Increases speed difference necessary for foe to make a follow-up attack by 10, Null Panic as well, 3 spaces from an ally, bonus to all stats as well, by a calculation of the number of allies, 20% of unit speed. Interesting, so yeah, they are going to go with a speedy Ike this time around. Reduces damage from foes' attacks by 20% of unit speed, once again. So all of this is stacking off of his speed stat. Okay, so, and he also has damage reduction piercing. Okay. Ether's Path for the special. When special triggers, boost damage by 75% of the greater of foes' speed or defense, and restores 50% of units' max HP. So, yeah, that's really, really strong. Really strong. Even for a 4 cooldown special, which again is going to be 3 cooldown with Swirling Lance, and I have no doubt that he has a number of cooldown reduction abilities built into his kit. Neutralizes effects that inflict special cooldown charge -X on units, so prevents guard. Reduces the effect of deep wounds by 50%, okay, and neutralizes effects that prevent units' counterattacks. Okay, blah, 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 and reduces damage from attacks by X%. Yeah, so very clearly in the past, they've made Ike sort of the embodiment of infantry enemy phasing, right, in general, which is, you know, that's been his, like, key role in Fire Emblem Heroes since the start, although it's been a little bit more ridiculous in recent times. And so, this kind of falls into place with that. I mean, absolutely ridiculous damage, especially since everything scales off of his stat. He can min-max to wazoo, because he wants everything in speed, effectively. He wants to boost his speed, and everything gets a boost when his speed is higher. So he gets huge damage, huge healing, and then they kind of wrap into the Ether's Path effect. They sort of wrap all these other things about Ether's Path in here, where reducing deep wounds, for example, neutralizing effects that prevent units' counterattacks, as well, so it allows him to effectively be a more effective enemy phasing machine. Enemies can't kind of poke at him as, you know, in order to wear him down or anything like that, because he can straight up just retaliate even if they have enemy can't counterattack. D bonus doubler for the A slot, which is very, very powerful indeed. That is not only going to allow him to distant counter, that is also going to have huge boosts to him for any statistical buff that he has for his stat line. Lagu's Loyalty for the B slot. Inflicts attack speed -4 on foe during combat. If units' max special cooldown count value is greater than or equal to 3, and unit's attack can trigger unit special, if foe's attack can trigger unit special, reduces the percentage of units non-special reduced damage by X% skills by 50%. So damage reduction piercing reduces damage from foes' attacks by 20% of unit's speed. So that just stacks on to the other damage reduction he has. Grants special cooldown count -2 to unit before foe's first attack during combat. And also, if foes initiates combat, decreases speed difference necessary for unit to make a follow-up attack by 10, and unit deals +7 damage during combat. Okay, alright, yeah, so this is a very, very stupid skill. Yeah, so there is that special charge that we all knew, you knew and I knew both, that was going to come into play to give him a very easy access to his special without question. So, who needs to strategize and put thought into things when your skills do all the work for you out of the box? Yeah, I mean, it's a broken skill, and it's going to obviously synergize with everything else he has. It's basically custom made for him. So both of the Lagu skills in general have kind of come with that package. It's been, yeah, this is like custom built for this character. Other characters will be able to use it too, but because of his stat line and why we're trying to basically pimp him out, this is a skill that is effectively going to be the best in slot for this archetype. Times Pulse Edge, of course, gives him that additional special charge that he was missing, to give him a full charge at the start of any initiation. So Times Pulse Edge is a new C slot skill. At start of turn, if unit special cooldown count is at its max value, grant special cooldown count -1 to unit. No conditions. Any start, just at the start of the turn, if he's at max value, gives him -1. Remember, as a reminder, special cooldown of the Ether is 4, with Killer Slaying effect would be 3. Times Pulse Edge gives it 2, and with Lagu's Loyalty, that means that he gets a pre-charge of 2, which again means that he has an insta-charge to his special. How fun. Grants bonus to a unit's attack speed during combat equal to unit's max special cooldown count value +2, and also if unit special cooldown count is at its max value after combat, grant special cooldown count -1 to unit as well. So hey, yeah, after combat's over, hey, don't worry, we'll just give you another special charge as well, so you can go ahead and have your pre-charge every single time. Of course, he has guard effect available on him as well to prevent enemies from disabling his special charge too. So yeah, again, he's going to be able to just have his Ether's path constantly at the ready, and it's going to synergize very, very well with the speed stat, and it's just going to do ridiculous damage and healing, and make him basically impervious. Counters from a distance, blocks foes' attacks, and ravages with his powerful special, can even neutralize panic. I feel like that's not real. It's like not even, can even neutralize panic as if that's something special these days, right? So yeah, lethality, there we go. And then he's just going to retaliate. He gets that insta-charge, and then fires back. And then he, of course, gets that charge to a special after combat, which leaves him at 2 cooldown, which he will get as the pre-charge whenever the next foolish unit decides to attack him. Alright, so next up is going to be Malice. And the flames on the sword, really, really cool, too. Malice's design has always been solid. Very, very strong as well. I love the hand on the hip, the sword over the shoulder, the confident smirk. She really does exude power lady vibes. She's not going to take anything from nobody. She's ready to wreck it on the battlefield. Yeah, she always kind of has that like strong stoicism to her. Even her original art for her original version, and it's obviously her statuesque pose here, really not an exception to that at all. I love that they carried kind of that cool composure of her into this version of her as well. So Swirling Scimitar, 16 might killer slaying effect. If a skill compares speed to a foe or ally speed, treats unit speed as if granted +7. Okay, so got a little phantom effect there. At start of player phase or enemy phase, if a unit is within 2 space of an ally, grants attack speed +6, dodge, and neutralize penalties on unit during combat to unit and allies within 2 spaces of unit for 1 turn. Penalty neutralization is nice. If unit is within 3 spaces of an ally, grants bonus to unit's attack speed, so all stats based on number of times unit has been enhanced using Dragonfly. Oh, she's one of those, huh? 1 or more times grants +14. Wait, what? hold on. Wait, what? 0 times grants plus 10? Wait, so again, I know I harp on this, but like I just feel like I feel like lately they've been making conditions. So like the way you balance stats and balance skills is to put conditions on them. I feel like they just threw that out the window this whole past year. It's like now conditions are just multiple ways of getting buffs with 0 penalties at all. And again, it's just like kind of driving itself off a cliff, or I don't know, I not even off a cliff. It's driving itself up like a ledge, like a roller coaster type thing, right? Like it's constantly climbing, at an even pace, and not even like diminishing returns. And so I don't know. I don't want this to turn into a gripe session, but I think this is just an example of that, because the whole Dragonflower balancing thing in the past was, hey, the more you invest in the character with Dragonflowers, the more bonuses you get, and you know, if you really love the character, if you put a lot of Dragonflowers into them, you'll get, you know, decent sizable bonuses. In this case, if you put even 1 Dragonflower on this character, you get plus 14 to all stats. I mean, that's... And then if you don't use Dragonflowers, oh, well, you just get plus 10 instead. Like, I don't know. To me, like, it just feels so lazy. Grants special cooldown count -2 to unit before foe's first attack. Reduces damage from foe's first attack by 25% of unit speed during combat. Okay, so speed scaling as well on her. So it looks like that's going to be the theme sort of the banner as a whole. And unit's next attack deals damage equal to total damage reduced from foe's first attack. So a bite effect. Interesting. Resets at the end of combat. The unit is within 3 spaces of an ally. Restores 7 HP to unit after combat. Okay. So again, we're seeing some common themes developing here. Scaling off of speed, phantom speed elements as well. You know, we're seeing pre-charge or special charge activation at the start of combat or as combat begins before foe's first attack. So again, kind of common themes that we're seeing there. Gust for the special, obviously. Very, very strong inheritable skill. Boost damage by 50% of unit speed when special triggers. And then furthermore, of course, if unit speed is greater than foe speed -4, reduces damage from foe's next attack by 40%. So getting some damage reduction built in there too. So quite a powerful inheritable skill there. Attack speed prime for a premium A slot skill for somebody that values attack and speed, which it does seem like she is going to. And then attack speed spiked wall. So it does seem like, again, similar to Ike, she's going to be defensive despite having, you know, offensively oriented stat line. Attack speed spiked wall. Foes with a range of 1 cannot move through spaces adjacent to unit, and foes with a range of 2 cannot move through spaces within 2 spaces of unit. Inflicts attack speed -4 on foe, deals damage equal to 15% of unit speed, reduces damage from foe's first attack by 7. Okay, and then first attack, including brave hits, and neutralizes effects that inflict special cooldown charge -X on unit during combat. Okay, so it neutralizes guard, has a flat damage reduction. So obviously that's something that can't be reduced by normal damage reduction skills or damage reduction piercing skills. Also stacks very well with other damage reduction skills like Gust. So again, it's very, very good, very solid to have that as a built-in skill. And it's going to be very valuable, I think, for these types of tanks where they're going to want to effectually have more attack and speed than their opponent, and they're going to want to have, again, it's kind of an all-rounder. I mean, despite having the kind of the wall element to it and being able to block off enemy movement, at the same time, it's going to have some additional damage boost in addition to the damage reduction or the stat line reduction on the enemy, as well as the damage reduction. So pretty solid B slot skill, I would say. Certainly not nearly as stupid as Ike's B slot skill. Like nowhere close to as stupid. Before foes attack, her cooldown count drops, right? Her special reduces damage and she can counter back, right? So once again, so her special reduces damage and then she can counter back. It's the bite effect once again. So she's going to tank this Supreme Astra. That's going to power up her next attack against Ira here and just do a lot of damage. So that's a lot of damage, as you can see right there. So yeah, hits pretty darn hard. So next up we got Tethys lined up here, flying dagger flying dagger colorless unit, the only flyer of the group, and also the only dancer of the group. And she looks great. She looks nice with the dancer outfit. It's really fitting for her, obviously being a dancer and having, sort of the body stocking look to her as well. Got the dagger in tow, an unmistakable long ponytail as well, and sort of the hip hugging skirt. All works really well together, and got sort of effectively those kind of like scarves and ornaments and things around her too that just kind of add more interesting elements to her silhouette as a whole. So very, very nice. Jehanna Dagger Plus, which is going to be an inheritable dagger. 12 might, skill compares speed to... So again, keeping in line with that theme of the banner as a whole. If a skill compares a unit speed to a foe's or ally speed, treats unit speed as if granted +7. Start of player or enemy phase, if unit is within 2 space of an ally, grants attack speed +6, dodge, and neutralize. So it's actually like a mini Malice effect. Like Malice, we just went through her kit and her unique weapon. Looks like Tethys is borrowing a lot of things with this inheritable dagger. If unit is within 3 space of an ally, grants +5 to all stats, reduces damage from foes' first attack by 7 during combat. Yeah, so again, it's borrowing quite a bit. And unit's next attack deals damage, so it is a bite effect as well. So yeah, it's a mini Malice effect. I mean, she doesn't get the Dragonflower effect or anything like that, but otherwise, again, it's okay. Once again, inheritable weapons as a whole have really depreciated in value in this game. They're not really that sought after anymore, other than for novelty and meme reasons from the visuals. Just because we have rearmed heroes, just because they exist, in general, it's unless you're going for a specific composition and a very, very specific build out. Yeah. Firestorm Dance 3 for the B slot, and Guidance 3 for the C slot. That's kind of terrible for the B slot and the C slot. The B slot's okay. It's all right. So if your entire strategy revolves around boosting and dancing a particular other offensive carry or unit, then maybe Firestorm Dance 3 could see some use. Obviously, it gives a lot of very powerful effects with the Kanto, the buff, as well as the Desperation effects. Those are all really good effects. So as far as like the Storm Dance B slot skills, yeah, pretty good. But again, it's super competitive, and that's only really if you want to, really gimp her in other ways, and she can only really be that kind of a support. Guidance 3 is very underwhelming for a C-slot skill. I mean, I guess it's a pathway skill to some tier 4 skills, I suppose. Yeah, I suppose. And since she is, a 4-star focus unit, it's they didn't want to give her too many good things. So yeah, I suppose. Relatively unremarkable, I will say, as far as her kit is concerned. With her weapon skill, her allies get dodge and her penalties averted. Use dance so allies can chain attacks. She is a Wyvern rider, so she's not going to be a Pegasus rider, which I guess works for the desert theme and everything, which is nice. And then we've got the duo here. So Willful Blades, once again.
I hope you like Jehanna. Yes.
So it's kind of funny. I guess it makes some sense just because of sort of the stilted speech that they have. I guess that dialogue is actually kind of fun between the both of them. But yeah, so Axe Cavalry unit, once again, the adoption of their default looks into, again, the desert garb looks really nice. I think the art style is really attractive as well. Obviously, they're showing a lot of skin, showing off the figures too. I'm not going to complain about that because they look fantastic. But yeah, again, Byleth with the color palette, the black, the gold, the leggings, and everything. Again, fits really, really well. And then, instantly recognizable Marisa as well with her outfit and the colors. Midriff galore, thighs galore, plenty of cleavage and everything else. So really attractive art overall as the duo. And looks like Byleth actually has a dagger in tow, so that's kind of interesting too. And seeing them back to back like this, it's nice. It's nice art. I think they did a great job in capturing them here. Let's see what they're all about here. See what their skills and their duo and everything else. So Laconic Axe is going to be their weapon, 16 might. Killer Slaying Effect, Kanto 2, just straight up, which is quite nice. +4 to all stats to allies within 3 rows or 3 columns centered on unit during combat. Oh, that's a nice little bonus. So yeah, just having a drive all to 3 rows and 3 columns is quite powerful, quite useful. It's just a nice little added effect to have. For target ally within 3 rows or 3 columns centered on unit, if Savior is not triggered, that ally attacks twice during their combat. Oh. If target allies within 3 rows or 3 columns centered on unit, unit attacks twice during combat. Oh. If support partner is on player team, targets any support partner. Otherwise, targets ally with the highest max HP on player team, excluding unit. Okay, so this is another support element to the weapon. So it talks about the target ally, and then it defines the target ally later. So the target ally is the support partner, or the ally with the highest max HP on the team, excluding the duo unit. So whoever that is, they are going to be the quote-unquote target ally. And that target ally within 3 rows or 3 columns will be able to attack twice during combat. If unit initiates combat, or if ally is within 3 rows or 3 columns centered on unit, grants bonus to unit's stat line equal to the number of allies within 3 rows or 3 columns centered on unit times 3 plus 5. Okay, so max 14. Deals damage equal to 20% of unit speed. Reduces damage from foes first attack by 20% of unit speed, including brave effects. Or brave attacks, and neutralizes effects that inflict special cooldown charge minus X on unit during combat, restores 7 HP to unit after combat. Okay, so she actually has a lot of, or they have a lot of effects that Ike has as part of his kit in this banner as well. Again, scaling off of the speed is a signature thing across all of these units as a whole. But particularly having kind of stat boosts in line with the number of allies. Also having the additional role of a support unit. Again, bestowing that ability as well as the stat boosts to allies. Pretty potent, like pretty nice. Moonbow for the special. That's kind of surprising to see in this day and age. I would have expected just another broken, like give him another broken special. Give him a new special. In kind of the current environment in Fire Emblem Heroes. But no, given the old reliable Moonbow here, a try, I guess. Attack Speed Excel, which is going to work favorably with high movement units, and them being cavalry. That's going to work well in tandem with them. I also saw and spied with the duo skill that they get an additional movement tile, so naturally the Excel skill is going to work very well for them. Assault Force for the B slot. If unit initiates combat or is within 2 spaces of an ally, inflicts speed defense minus 4 on foe, neutralizes penalties on unit, deals damage equal to 20% of the greater of unit's speed or defense. Okay. And reduces the percentage of foes' non-special reduced damage by X% skills by 50% during combat. So damage reduction piercing as well. That's a stacked skill. That is a stacked skill, and not terribly difficult of a condition to meet. There's a lot baked in there, and again, a lot of it scaling off of speed stat. It's not close to the Laguz skill. It's nowhere close to the Laguz skill. But once again, the Laguz skill is going to be infantry locked without question in my mind. Assault Force, this might be inheritable to everybody, or locked to cavalry potentially. That'd be kind of surprising to see. But yeah, I'm curious to see who can inherit this skill, because it is quite powerful. It's quite a powerful one. Odd Speed Wave 4 for the C slot. A force to be reckoned with, powerful, potent, has some damage reduction built in, kind of an all-rounder in a lot of ways, and then also provides some decent support to their allies. So buff allies in a wide area, and unit allies can attack twice. Move extra and ignore terrain multiple times. Okay, so we haven't seen that because obviously that is going to be part of their skill, their duo skill. But that's interesting that they're kind of, they're already talking about it here. So that's going to be, I think, the coup de grace. That's going to be what kind of separates them from the rest of the pack in terms of, the buff is nice. Anytime an offensively oriented or even an all-rounder unit is able to also buff allies in that capacity, always a nice additional bonus, definitely for sure. So let's just take a look here and see. So we've got the duo skill. Grants unit can move 1 extra space to unit. That turn only, does not stack. Grants Resonance Blades. Unit cannot be slowed by terrain to unit and allies from the same titles as unit for 1 turn. Once used, Harmonized skill cannot be activated right away. Start of every 3rd turn. So Very, very potent, especially for, again, a unit that is going to be able to gain additional offensive power through their traversal and movement, right? So getting that additional extra space, being able to move effortlessly through terrain that would otherwise hinder their movement, you know, all of those things, very, very great to just ensure that they're going to be able to take advantage of their Excel skill in general. So, and also just in general, that's very, very powerful. Again, one of the hindrances, of course, to cavalry being that they're not supposed to be able to travel through certain negative terrain, and or easily through negative terrain, and then they can just bypass that at the press of a button that refreshes every third turn. So again, pretty darn good, pretty darn good. Alright, so starting on the 16th of January and going for effectively an entire month, we have Dust Storm Mercs. Once again, the duo skill, pretty nicely designed, I mean, at least in terms of both their utility on the battlefield, their versatility as an enemy phase / offensive oriented unit, the damage reduction they enjoy, the stat boost, the scaling off of speed, as well as the buffs that they provide, in addition to just, the versatility and movement with their duo skill. I actually like them a lot. I like them a lot. I think that personally Ike is absolutely busted on this banner. I think even from the perspective of, like, you know, they gave him, you know, his own perfect kit, which they tend to do with Ike or Ikes recently, and so and in terms of the new skills that he brought that are inheritable, if you're, you know, a meta chaser, you're gonna want those skills. You're gonna want Ike if you want to optimize, because you want to get access to his skills, particularly his B slot and C slot are really, really strong. His A slot is also incredible. So he is basically an absolute treasure trove of inheritable skills if you don't want to use him. And if you do want to use him, and you want to turn off your brain, you can do that. You can just use him, build him up, and then slap him on the battlefield, and, you know, 90% of characters are not going to be able to stop him. So yeah, I think that's kind of the end of the long and short of it. Again, I think the duo skill has a lot of value here too. I think people are probably pretty strapped with their orbs after, you know, the holidays, after we've gotten kind of 2 seasonal banners, and then we've gotten, obviously, Emblem Lin as well. So I think a lot of people are probably struggling a little bit. Anniversary is around the corner too, which you know, should be helpful at least in replenishing some of those reserves in the next month or so. But I know some people are struggling with their orb reserves at this point. All the same, very powerful banner. Malice is also great. I mean, I don't want to undersell Malice. I mean, Malice is really powerful too in what she does. Even having, like, sort of the no fuss, like, flat Dragonflower bonus like that is really good. I mean, it's really solid too, scaling off of the speed and everything. Tethys, again, not the best. Not the best, but she is a flying dancer, which is always useful. So having a flying dancer for Sacred Stones, I guess, is nice. Is nice to have. But yeah, let me know down below what you think about the banner as a whole. If you're excited for the new duo, the new Ike, the new Malice, the new Tethys, the theming of the banner as well. If you're going to be summoning on it, best of luck to you. Hopefully you get all of the characters that you are looking for and all of the fodder and merges that you need out of the gate. Hopefully you get super, super lucky. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider leaving a like, commenting down below, and subscribing to the channel for more Fire Emblem Heroes content. We thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, let's protect those skies.